This is the truth between the beef between Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Now everybody gonna go, whoa, Kobe and Shaq. Oh, this is what I was waiting on, because him and Shaq had it out. And y'all going back to the case. Y'all don't know how far back this goes. Believe you me. You have no idea how far back this goes. Now, let's go back to when Shaq was getting ready to leave Orlando. After Orlando got swept by the Chicago Bulls, Shaq beelined it out of the stadium. Didn't congratulate the Bulls, nothing. Just got out of there. And basically got out of Orlando. And he spent most of his time in LA, where he often frequented and had a home there. So, right away, he met with Jerry West at the time. Jerry West was still the GM. And Jerry West told Shaq, if you come to Los Angeles, you will be the biggest star in NBA history. And you're going to win championships. You're not going to win championships in Orlando. But you will as a Laker. That was one of the things Jerry West talked to Shaquille O'Neal about. He says Michael Jordan is only going to play probably 2 more years. Then he's done. The Bulls era is done. Your era and the Los Angeles Lakers era will begin. Now, while they did this move, Jerry West and the Lakers eventually have a falling out. A disagreement. Failed promises with Jerry Buss and Jerry West. Now, the draft is coming around, and Kobe Bryant has entered the NBA draft. Now, I'm not going to go into the corruption of the NBA draft, but let me explain to you something in simplest terms. There's a lot of things that transpire that shouldn't, because Jerry West became the GM of, I believe, the Minnesota Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken, because this is all off memory. And what happened was they drafted Kobe Bryant because a deal was struck. Jerry West, being a former Laker, helped out his automat, and he always liked Vlade Divac because he drafted or traded for Vlade, and he wanted to build a team around what he had going on. So he did a trade for the Los Angeles Lakers for Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac. People said, you would give away the young future star that is Kobe Bryant to the Los Angeles Lakers and we get Vlade Divac? People did not see this as a very profitable trade for the organization, but it looked very well for the Los Angeles Lakers, because this is what the NBA wanted to happen. They didn't want Kobe Bryant in a low market city. They needed him in Los Angeles because they had plans for him. Now, to his arrival, Shaq is not happy that they made this deal, that they traded away Vlade Divac. They traded away Vlade. They got Shaq. And they felt like we got Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, why did we get another guard when we really needed was a power forward? So that's what their whole thing was. So Kobe was being developed. But since his first day arriving at the gym, everybody's showing him love. Like Nick Van Exel was like one of the main guys to show him respect, love, showing him the ropes, him and Eddie Jones. Even though Eddie Jones was the job, he was pretty much coming in for. And Eddie was not feeling threatened by it, but he took him in like, this is our teammate. We're going to treat him as such, and we're going to try to show him the ropes. And he's a young kid, and we're going to help him develop. Shaq was the only one. Oh, you can't talk to me yet. When you start putting some points up, then you can sit down and have conversations with me. That's how Shaq was. Shaq was that way to him. Shaq never talked about him like when they talk basketball and strategy, then that's when they talk. Kobe just like, alright, just took it. But he was a, young show off. The NBA kept getting interviews with him. Shaq was bitter about that. Shaq was like, well, I averaged, 25 points a game, double-double, and they all want to talk to Kobe Bryant. He's like a guy who has a career average points of like 10. And he's like, how many points he scored in the NBA? 10. And they want to interview him. And it was funny because it was like the All-Star weekend and he was getting all the attention. The slam dunk contest. It was all about Kobe Bryant, and then Allen Iverson was the rookie star sensation. And then Kobe Bryant was getting magazine interviews, and Shaq was sticking up for his teammates. Like, he wanted to stick up for Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, who he felt wasn't getting the same peripheral treatment. This is why he felt like, he was being so mean towards Kobe at the time when Kobe came in the league. So Dale Harris, who was the coach, they're in the playoffs, and the Utah Jazz is giving them the business in the playoffs. And this is Kobe's rookie year. They decide to put a switch in late in the game, and they start to go with Kobe Bryant. When Kobe was in the game, his defense on John Stockton is what helped get the Lakers back into the series. People don't remember that. They only remember how the season ends. But if you watch the games, this is why Dale Harris made the decision he made down the road. Because the Lakers would have been at home. They were getting blown out and losing to the Utah Jazz. And they wouldn't have had a chance to make a run at anything because Kobe Bryant came in and changed the spectrum. Meaning that his defense on John Stockton was able to stop the Stockton to Malone passes, them running their sets. He could keep up with Stockton. His long arms, his range. He was making things happen. And he can get by John Stockton with his dribble and crossover, and he can create opportunities. So down the stretch, in Game 5, they decided to give the ball to Kobe Bryant. And he shoots like 3 air balls. Everybody remembers that. And Dale Harris and everybody asked him about why did he do that? Why did you give a rookie 3 opportunities and he shot 3 air balls? And Dale Harris said it was the best idea at the time. And down the road, you're going to see this guy make He's going to be in this situation again, and he's going to make those shots. Like he's going to be a future star in this league. Well, needless to say, that was the beginning of the end of Dale Harris being a coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. But what Dale Harris was talking about, he was right. Kobe spent the entire summer working on getting better, pushing himself. He's in the gym because he wants to show that I'm not that guy. And I think they played Utah, and I don't know if it was regular season or preseason, but he gave them the business. And Shaq wanted Kobe traded. He actually wanted Kobe out of there because he's like, this kid here, and he don't give him the name, they call him Showboat, because Kobe always wanted to do something spectacular for the crowd and play for the fans. And he's like, we can't win a championship with a guy like this. And when Eddie Jones and everyone else was gone, and Kobe was going to be the starting two guard, Shaq wasn't happy. Because Shaq knew he wasn't going to get the ball as much, and it wasn't going to be delivered to him as much. So when Phil Jackson decided he was going to coach the Los Angeles Lakers, and they brought Phil in, they sit down, and during this process, Shaq, he was like, okay, or do we have any issues in here? We need to get everything out in the open, because I need to play catch up here. I need to know what's going on. Meaning, if there's any locker room problems, people not liking people, I need to know this right here, right now. No media. This is what we need to get out in the open. And Shaq was like, raises his hand and sits up and says, we are not going to win a championship with that guy right here. He's got to go. We are never going to win a championship with him. And he points at Kobe. Said he's too selfish. And Kobe sat there and took it. Shaq and Kobe never really hung out, did anything, like, even through his whole development. He took that and was like, wow, all this years of playing, and now this guy, it's the first time Kobe's ever heard it. Like Shaq say that about him in front of the entire team and the coach. So the coach cleared everybody out except for Kobe and Shaq. He's sitting there with Kobe and Shaq, and he's like, well, what are we going to do? We're not going to move Kobe. Kobe's going to be our two guard. So, what do you guys want to do? Now, Shaq, I'm promising, we're going to run the triangle. We're going to run the offense through you. The triangle was originally designed for a center. So, I'm very curious at making that work. And Kobe, I think you can learn any system that's out there. We're going to work with you. We're going to teach you guys the system. And if it's something that's not working out, I'll talk to Dr. Buss. And Shaq was, well, I trust everything that you're saying, so, okay, coach. I mean, but it's still this guy here. I don't think he has he doesn't know what it's like to be a teammate. So then Kobe goes into the whole thing of, well, you can ask any teammate I was ever on. You know, I played in high school, but still, we were a team. You can ask any of the other teammates here. They'll tell you, I'm the first guy in and the last guy to leave. I work with everybody, you know. Shaq's never been willing to talk, work with me, or nothing, so we don't have a chemistry. So, but he should be able to know, it's not just for show. I do entertain the fans, but I want to win. So basically, and Kobe was like, I'm going to show you. And he did. Kobe showed every year that he was there to win. Then they win the championship right off the bat. What a mystery that was. They win 3 championships in a row as soon as they get filled. Then they go right back to the finals and lose to the Detroit Pistons. And during this whole ride, everything was cool. Shaq and Kobe like they best friends. Why? Because they were winning. Winning championships. You're seeing them take pictures together, posing with the NBA trophy. They never hung out. They were never friends. Never. People just, they put that Kobe and Shaq. They never were friends. You know, so when the situation happened with Kobe, all of a sudden, with the case, that's when people freaked out. But before that, when they won 3 NBA championships, and they're getting ready to go for a 4th, something was happening with Shaq. Shaq kept coming in the season out of shape. And this was something that was becoming a common thing with Shaq. He'd come in the offseason 20, 30 pounds out of shape and then use the season to get himself in shape. Meanwhile, he's getting these injuries because he didn't spend the offseason working on anything. He spent the offseason getting out of shape while everybody else is busting their butt. And now he's hurt, and now that hurts the team. And that's what Kobe's thinking about, like, hey, we're here to win. We can't keep doing this way. And so once, you know, Kobe started to develop to become the man, per se, you have a terrible situation developing when Shaq went out for a toe injury. They changed the offense. The triangle was ran through Kobe. And while Shaq is sitting there nursing his toe and his foot, Kobe is playing out of his mind. You know, while everybody else is, you know, messing around, Kobe's playing out of his mind. And they were on their way for a 4th title. And the offense is no longer going around Shaq. Shaq comes back like, okay, call my number. They ain't calling Shaq number like that. That ball going to Kobe. And Kobe was making it happen. And people like, whoa, what's going on here? There's a shift. Like, they going to Shaq, but not as much. And Shaq, you know, feels like, well, Shaq, when you're back 100%, we're just bringing you in lightly. And Shaq's going, don't do that. Just give me the ball. So, they get a ball to Shaq. He had one game, he get like 20-something. Like, he's back to running the plays the way they used to. But now, it's kick it out to Kobe. And we're going to run a more fast-paced set. We ain't finna do this slow, methodical drag, jumping into the big guy. And they're swinging the ball around, which means Shaq got to reposition himself and work to get to the other side and get position again. And Shaq was getting tired of this because sometimes he's not getting the ball, but what he's getting is a workout. And the teammates was working Shaq out, making him work and try to really earn it. While they were out there running up and down the court, because they like, look, man, it wasn't just Kobe. People don't understand. It's just Kobe's name is on it. The team was sick of it. Rick Fox was sick of it. People were sick of Shaq coming in there out of shape, doing what he was doing. And it was the truth. He felt, I'm the star, I can do what I want to do. He wasn't as disciplined as Kobe Bryant. And that's why he kept getting these nagging injuries, because he was out of shape during the summer. Now, with the case that went down, that happened with Kobe Bryant after the end of the season or whatever, or during that season, where the audio and everything, he come out and say, oh, well, didn't Shaq have something to do with, like, when they put the audio out, that was handled poorly, too, by the way. But on the audio, he was like, man, Shaq, I think he did something like this before, had paid to have something like this. He's talking one-on-one with the cop. He's not telling the cops on Shaq. He threw Shaq under the bus. He didn't know these things was going to go public. He was trying to pay money to get this to go the way, didn't Shaq, I think Shaq did something like this. He was just talking to the wrong people. He needed to talk to his firm. But he ain't never been in trouble. He never did anything before like this. So he didn't know how to handle the situation. He never been squeezed before. And now this is his first squeeze, and he's panicking. Because Kobe had pushed his family away, his mother, his father, his brothers, his sisters, all of them. They pushed everybody away. And it was just him and his wife. Because his family didn't accept his wife. Thought she was a gold digger. How could you marry her? If you marry that woman, we will not have anything to do with you as the family. So the wife didn't show up, the mom, the dad, the sisters. It was a united front. They were not going to Kobe's wedding. So Kobe was hurt that they didn't even show up at his wedding. It was so much going on. So when that happened to him, he was by himself. He had nobody to rely on, nobody to really lean up on besides his wife, who's not really talking to him. But he's got to do this to put a good face on it and make it this speech. So the family came to his aid, because that is their family. Even though he was in a time of need, they still came to be at his aid and be a family to help bridge him through this. But now that the audio's out and people hearing Shaq, the social media people at the time, which was the tabloids, made it a big thing. Kobe versus Shaq. He threw Shaq under the bus. And they made a big fuss about it. Where Shaq didn't really feel one way or another about it. It's just that at the end of the season, they had a decision to make, which way they wanted to go. Were they going to pay Shaq this amount of money to come back to the Lakers, or were they going to pay some other person to come in for the Los Angeles Lakers? Because you couldn't pay Shaq and Kobe. Kobe had just got his extension. He's the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. Shaq had maybe 2 more years left to play. But do you want to bring Shaq back to the Lakers? That was the key. Do you want to bring Shaq back, knowing that him and Kobe don't really see eye to eye, and it really didn't have anything to do with the situation where, he told on me with the cops and all this stuff and trying to mess me up with my family. Shaq's marriage was already, everybody know what was going on there. It had nothing to do with that. Shaq was upset that the plays were different, and Kobe was the star now, and Shaq was becoming the co-star, and he was not willing to let that take place in precedence. He's like, I wanted to go back to the way it was, Coach, when we was winning championships. Why are we going to change something that's working? That's how Shaq felt. Like, we were winning championships, doing it the way we used to doing it. Now we're doing it another way, and we're not winning championships. So that should tell you we doing something wrong. And they're like, Shaq, you don't understand. Kobe's the man now. Kobe jerseys are selling. Shaq jerseys ain't selling that much. It's Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. So we're going to ride with Kobe because we have to. He has star appeal. And Shaq is like, I thought it was about championships. Like, whatever. So Shaq thought Kobe should be gone. He was like, after all the nuts he did, he should be gone. But no, that wasn't so. Shaq went to Miami. Sounds a lucrative deal with the Miami Heat. Now the new season starts. You got Kobe versus Shaq. The media and the tabloids combined to create all these malicious story. The NBA, they decided to do this and make this such a hate fest that it was ridiculous. So now you have Kobe, Shaq, it was beyond an NBA game. They had put so much hate in the air and so much stigmata of this is what we want this battle to be. Like these two guys are ready to tear each other apart on the court. The energy level was just so in that stadium in LA for that game. The people were so fueled up with hate and anger that yeah, we got Kobe. Y'all can have Shaq, and people from Miami was yelling down at the Lakers. Like, that was a war. The whole series. You know, that how every time they played each other was going to be a war. And from the first jump ball, Kobe wanted to show Miami and the Laker fans that I got this. We alright in my hands. We gonna be alright without Shaq. So he goes down there, Shaq gets a dunk, and they come down, Kobe hits a three, Kobe hits like a couple of threes in a row, then everybody's losing it. Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. He goes right in on Shaq, Shaq blocks his shot. It should have been a foul call, but Kobe's whole thing was, I'm going to go right at Shaq. That was the strategy. Let's get Shaq out of the game. We're going to get him in foul trouble. But the NBA wasn't going to allow Shaq to foul out that early. They got to have their story. So Shaq eventually fouls out. But what that did was open up the game for Dwayne Wade to do his thing. And the Heat won the game. So it was like Shaq took, yeah, I'm taking credit for this victory. See, this is what it is. It's a real team. It ain't one guy that's trying to score all the points. So after the game, Bill Russell had a conversation with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. And the words Bill Russell used was, this is a modern day lynching. And he mentioned times where people were being hung by trees after having them savagely attack each other in fights. They sick dogs on them, on whoever lost. They sicked the dogs of them, had the dogs rip them to shreds. Because they're there to fight and tear each other apart for white people's entertainment. And that was one of the reasons he didn't like the sport of boxing, Bill Russell. And he said, it stemmed from that energy, that same hatred. And he said, watching that game, he said, I've never seen so much hatred in an NBA game before. And he said, for the both of you guys, he said, y'all don't even know this thing is a lot bigger than Shaq and Kobe. And that's why y'all should stop it. Because they don't want you to. That's why you should stop it. And you know what they did? at the height and the point of all the hate, animosity, you know what these guys did? They stopped hating each other. Instantly, it was gone. And whether they were friends or not, they were never, ever going to publicly destroy the other again. They hugged, they embraced, and that was the way it should have been. And it showed the NBA, we're not going to let you dictate what happens here. We're going to do it. We're going to break this cycle because it's going to lead to something else. And you don't want to create that atmosphere. So that's the Kobe and Shaq beef. Follow me on Twitter @Carcino. I'm gone. I'm out.